Watch this. I click, a calendar pops up. I pick a date, I close it. Form submits with a clean ISO 8601 string. No library, no state hook, no use date picker wrapper, just a date input element and the browser. Every project I join, the first date input I find is wrapped in a 40 kilobyte library. Every time. Sometimes react-datetype, sometimes flat-picker, sometimes a hand-rolled, we'll just build our own thing that's been growing for years. And every time I check what the browser actually ships, and the browser is fine. The browser is more than fine. 3 rules. We'll see each one running in real production code, booking forms, autosave, design system buttons. The styling tiers, what works, what's Chromium only, what's the wall. The cross-browser ugliness that's the actual reason people reach for libraries. And at the very end, the new Temporal API, with 5 concrete examples that replace your entire date utility library. Let's start. Rule 1. The display is locale, the value is ISO. 5 inputs in the family: date, time, date time local, month, week. All native, all open a picker, all return a string. Watch, here's my HTML, input type date, ID dob. Now here's the same input rendered in my browser. I'm on US English, so I see May 26, 2026. If I switch my OS to German and reload, 26.05.2026. Japanese, year, month, day with kanji. Same input, 3 different displays. Now watch the console. I do dob.value, and regardless of which locale I'm on, I get the same string. 2026-05-26. ISO 8601, always. Here's the real dev scenario this fixes. Your form posts to your API. The API expects a date string. If you send the locale formatted string, 26.05, your backend has to parse that in every language with every separator. If you send .value, you send ISO 8601 every time, and the backend parses one format. The displayed text is for humans, the .value string is for machines. They are not the same thing. I've debugged this in production. A teammate logged the displayed text expecting the ISO string, got the German format, sent it to the backend choked. 3 hours. The fix was reading .value instead. Rule 1. Move on. Rule 2. 2 events, 3 ways to read, and real callbacks for real forms. Watch, I bind 2 listeners to my date input. Input fires on every adjustment, every arrow key bump, every digit I type, every spin of the year. Watch the console light up. Change fires once when the user closes the picker or blurs the field. So in a booking form, I use input for live availability. User scrolls to a date, I fire a request, the calendar shows fully booked before they even commit. I use change for autosave. They pick the date, picker closes, I save the draft. 2 events, 2 jobs. Now the value. 3 properties. .value gives the ISO string, what we just saw. .value as date gives a real JavaScript date object, but watch this. The date is constructed in UTC, so if I call .getDay in my local time zone, I might be off by 1. .value as number gives milliseconds since the epoch, also UTC. Most code I ship reads .value as a string and parses it where needed. Skip the helpers. Real scenario, date range pickers. You have a start date input and an end date input. User picks start, you want end to auto-update its minimum. 3 lines. On the start input's change event, you set the end input's min attribute to the start input's value. Now the browser blocks any end date earlier than the start. Watch, I pick May 15th as start, end input automatically refuses anything before May 15th. Same pattern for max. Booking system says only 30 days ahead? Set max to today plus 30. Browser enforces it. No validator code. One gotcha worth knowing. There is no disabled days attribute. If your scheduling system has specific blocked dates, holidays, unavailable slots, you handle that via the change event, reject invalid values manually, show your own error. The native picker doesn't have an API for "this Tuesday is closed." That's where you write code, not where you stop using the native picker. Rule 3. The showPicker method. Baseline since September 2022. One line that changes everything. Watch this. I have my ugly native date input on the left. I have a styled button on the right, my brand colors, my icon, my font, my hover state. I want to keep the native picker, but click My button. 5 lines. I select the input, give it a VH class, that's the standard visually hidden utility, position absolute, 1 pixel clip, screen readers still announce it. I select my button, add a click handler, call .showPicker on the input. That's it. Click, native picker opens, anchored to the input position. Picks a date, value updates. User sees my brand, gets the platform's A11Y, locale support, and keyboard navigation for free. Real scenario. You have a design system. You have a button component everyone uses. The marketing page needs a date picker, but it has to look like every other button in the system. You don't rewrite button to be a date picker. You drop your existing button next to a hidden date input, and on click, call showPicker. The button component stays button. The native picker does what the native picker does. Zero design system surgery. One catch. The showPicker method needs an active user gesture. Try to call it on page load, it throws. Try in a set timeout, it throws. Click handler, fine. Touch end, fine. Wrap it in a try-catch and call .focus on the input as a fallback for older browsers. That's the production-safe version. This is why this is the rule, not just a trick. This is the unlock for the entire hybrid pattern. Now the wall. What can you actually style? Let me show you the CSS, line by line. Tier 1, everywhere. The input box itself. Watch. I write input bracket type equals quote date quote, and inside the rule I set padding 12:16, border 3 pixels, solid var ink, background var surface, font outfit sans serif, and a box shadow 4 pixels 0, var accent for that hard-edged look. On focus, outline 3 pixels, solid var accent, outline offset 2 pixels. That whole block works in Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, every browser, portable, yours. Tier 2, Chromium only. The WebKit calendar picker indicator pseudo element. Watch. I add input bracket type date, WebKit calendar picker indicator, set cursor pointer, set filter to, invert 36% sepia, saturate 2800%, hue rotate 8 degrees. That tints the calendar icon to my exact accent orange. Then WebKit date time edit day field on focus, background var accent, color white. Now when the user tabs through the year, month, day segments, each focused segment gets my accent background. Looks great in Chrome, useful. But open the same page in Safari and Firefox. Nothing applies. Those pseudo elements don't exist outside Chromium. So you write them as a progressive enhancement. The field looks slightly better in Chrome, looks just fine in everything else. Tier 3, the wall. Let me try. I write input bracket type date, WebKit datetime popup. Nothing. I write the proposed picker calendar pseudo element. Nothing. It's not a real selector. I open DevTools. The pop-up isn't in the DOM I can reach. It's a shadow tree the browser draws. The only influence you have on it is one line. Color scheme light-dark on your root. That tells the browser the pop-up should follow the user's theme preference. That's it. For anything more, hybrid pattern. And here's why that matters. Watch this. Same line of HTML. Input type date. Chrome on the left, Safari in the middle, Firefox on the right. Chrome is boxy with drop-downs. Safari is iOS soft with rounded cards. Firefox is a colored button grid that looks like a school worksheet. None match each other. None match your brand. I've sat through design reviews where someone shares exactly this screenshot, and the conversation pivots to, we need a library. It's the right instinct. It's also where you stop and check what you actually want. So when do you reach for what? 3 options. 1. Accept native. 5 lines of HTML plus the tier 1 styling. Ship it. Looks different across browsers, but every user is on home turf. This is what I default to for internal tools, admin dashboards, anything where the input isn't the brand-defining moment. Watch. Here's the entire implementation. Label, input, submit handler reads .value, posts to your API. Done. 6 lines. 2. The hybrid. The pattern from Rule 3. Native input hidden, your styled button calls showPicker. Watch the full code, 12 lines total, including the change listener that updates your button label when the user commits. This is what I ship to production. Marketing pages, booking forms, any product surface that has a design system. You get the look you want and every line of accessibility code you'd otherwise write yourself. 3. Full custom. You write the calendar grid. You handle focus management, screen readers, keyboard arrow navigation, locale formatting in every language you support, leap years, time zones, daylight saving transitions. Every line you used to get free, you now own. Sometimes that's the right trade. A flight booking calendar that shows price per day, an inventory picker that disables sold-out dates with custom tooltips. Those need full custom. For everything else, the hybrid wins. And honestly, even most we need full custom requirements end up satisfied by hybrid plus a date cell tooltip overlay. Try hybrid first, escalate only if you have to. One more thing, the new Temporal API. Reading .value gives you a string, but you usually want to do something with it. Add days, compare to a max date, calculate a duration, format for display. Until last year, you'd shove that string into the date constructor and pray about time zones. Watch 5 concrete examples. 1. Parse. Temporal plain date dot from of input dot value. 1 line. I get a real date object with no time zone, no DST, no off by 1. 2. Add days. Dot add of curly braces days : 7. Returns a new immutable plain date 1 week later. 3. Add months, DST safe. Dot add of curly braces months : 1. Handles February to March, end of month edge cases, leap years, all of it. 4. Compare. Temporal plain date dot compare of plus dot value, comma, quote, 2026-06-01, quote. Returns -1 if before, 0 if equal, +1 if after. No more, the equals sign doesn't work on dates, footgun. 5. Format. Dot to locale string of quote de-de quote, comma, curly braces date style : long. Outputs 26.my2026. Any locale you pass. No library. Real scenario. Booking form. User picks start date. You want to enforce that the end date is within 30 days. 3 lines. You convert start to plain date. You compute plain date dot add curly braces days 30. You set that as the max attribute on the end input. Browser enforces it. The exact thing date FNS and Luxon and moment were used for, in 3 lines with no dependency. And on the platform side, earlier this year, Chrome 135 shipped a thing called Appearance-Based Select. You put it on a select element, you can suddenly style the drop-down, the option list, the highlight, the pop-up Chrome. First real proof the OS Chrome wall is going to crumble. Datepicker isn't there yet, but the trajectory is clear. So that's the system. Native picker for the input, showPicker for your trigger, temporal for the math. 0 libraries, full accessibility, production ready. Comment date if you want me to walk through a real form validation system end to end. See you in the next one.